Connect 4. Stay connected.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Weir.
I'm Rachel Mackay.
And I'm Shannon Wallace.
And welcome to Go With The Flow, the show that breaks down walls and opens up conversations.
To help girls and women come together to celebrate being a woman.
Coming up on the show today, we have a look at the devastating effects of period poverty and what is being done within Scotland to help combat this issue.
We will also be taking part in a panel discussion with special guests Celine Gretsch and Amanata Babu to talk all things feminine health before exploring the revolutionary menstrual products that are much kinder on our bodies and our environment.
Even in today's society, periods are still a subject that's approached with caution and silence. This attitude towards periods is dangerous to how we see and feel about our own bodies. It's important to tackle this stigma and have open conversations so we can ask questions without feeling ashamed. With that being said, Rebecca, when did you first get yours?
I think I was around 14 or 15 when I first got mine, so I was quite a late starter. How old were you?
I think I was about 11.
That's quite standard, I feel.
Yeah,
11 or 12.
Like 12, 13.
Mine happened when I was in school. And I was quite lucky that my mum works at the school with me, so I just ran to her like, oh my god, why is this happening to me? Like, I am the only girl in the world that's ever experienced this. This is so unfair. She gave me a pad, and then that was you. But I remember a lot of girls used to, I was feared of having blood on your seat, like leaking through, especially when you wore a skirt, because I was never a trouser gal. I was always a skirt person.
Oh, see, I never had that problem because I was always a trouser gal.
But it can still leak through your trousers.
Yeah, that's true.
When you get up from your seat and you've got that big sweaty bum mark, you're either like, is that blood or is that sweat?
Yeah, no.
When you have like tights on and then you stand up and it's just, you can tell it's been like kind of...
Oh, and it like sticks to your leg, and then when you stand up, it like, you're like, oh, dislodges, and you're like, oh my god. I hated when you stood up from a class as well, and it was like a big waterfall of blood, and you were like, oh, that's nice.
Like when you sneeze or something, you're like, oh, right,
you feel like you've peed yourself. Now we're moving on to an exceptionally important topic. Our presenter Shannon is going to share more.
In the UK, 1 in 10 girls can't afford period products and 1 in 7 struggle to afford them. Period poverty has become a big issue in the UK, and we're slowly seeing some changes within Scotland, it being one of the first countries to introduce free period products. There are also local councils such as Fife Council now providing free reusable products. We will now hear from Pauline Donaldson to learn more about how Forth Valley College itself is tackling period poverty.
So I'm here with Rachel and Pauline. Pauline, if you could just quickly introduce yourself by giving us a rough idea of what it is that you do at the college.
My role at the college is the Soft Services and Sustainability Manager. So the soft services element is to look after the cleaning, the waste, the grounds maintenance, and within the cleaning is obviously the toilet provision that we've got. And that's the reason why the period products has fallen under my remit. Sustainability, I look after our carbon management plan and will report annually on our carbon footprint.
So how long has the college been providing free period products, and can you tell us a little bit about the project in the college?
Forth Valley College has been providing free products since August 2018. The overall aim of the project was to remove a barrier for people who were unable to access sanitary products and the impact that was having on their daily lives. So essentially, for students who couldn't attend class because they didn't have these essential products. The project was initially launched as the Period Poverty Campaign, but this is no longer really about poverty. It's more about giving people dignity when they're having their period. And as I say, removing this barrier about being able to have the products that you need at that time of the month in your life. So the other thing is that it can also be a simple thing that a person's gone to the toilet, taken their period unexpectedly, and need access to a tampon and a pad, or whatever their preference is. If we go back to prior to 2018, if you didn't have anything with you, you had to use a vending machine to have like £1, £2 with you. And yet again, that wasn't always something that you were prepared for. So that's how our project has come about.
Are there any changes you think could be made towards how period products are advertised and sold in the UK?
I think, and I've changed the wording here because I like to refer to it as feminine hygiene products, because I think it takes in a wider range of products that need to be used. They are still widely advertised on TV, in magazines and on social media. It is all out there for everyone to see, and the products are easily accessible in supermarkets, and the price is coming down. Enabling people to have access to the type of products for free, I think, is a massive step forward though, and it does make it a lot easier for anyone who's had difficulty in the past to be able to obtain these products. Although I'm aware that there are still people who remain in a situation where they don't have easy access to them.
So just the last question is that we've seen that last year in 2019, the college put together a focus group to try out reusable and eco-friendly period products. Can you tell us a little bit about the results of the focus group?
We had a good, but it was a small response from students who wanted to be involved in the focus group, and we were able to provide them with the various reusable pads or the menstrual cups. At the time, there was a preference for the pads rather than the menstrual cups, and I think that was because they were still relatively unknown. However, what I've found is working well with students is if somebody else can recommend a product or the cups, then others seem more willing to be wanting to try them out. I also think that by making these available on the home service delivery packs that have been available during lockdown, we have seen an increase in people requesting them. So I think, yet again, it's given people the opportunity to try something at home, and you're not facing the embarrassment of maybe having to buy one, or people coming back to you and saying, well, how did you find that? Did you like it? Will you continue using it? So we've removed that element from giving people access to it.
Sorry, you said about the bags during lockdown. Was that for students? Was that available?
Yes, on our social media platforms and Moodle, we put adverts out to say that anybody that needed sanitary products during lockdown, they could fill in a simple questionnaire, and we would arrange for these to be delivered to the home free of charge.
Oh, that's
amazing.
brilliant. I didn't know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you could get your tampons, pads, and the reusable pads or the menstrual cup.
Thank you so much, Pauline, for joining us. If anyone would like to find out more, then you can check out the college on their Twitter page at FV College or their website forthvalley.ac.uk.
We all have our certain ways of dealing with our periods. Some use pads and others use tampons. A single person goes through approximately 11,000 disposable period products in a lifetime. Multiply that by everyone who gets their period and you've got a whole lot of waste on your hands. In 2010, a UK beach clean found an average of 23 sanitary pads and 9 tampon applicators per kilometre of British coastline, which all takes around 500 years to degrade. The materials that go into making a pad include cotton, and most are unorganic, meaning that they have been saturated in pesticides and insecticides. 90% of materials used to make pads are plastic. The sticky bit that goes onto your underwear contains polyethylene plastic, which is very harmful to the environment.
Tampons contain chemicals such as dioxin, chlorine and rayon. When these products sit in landfills, the chemicals get soaked up by the earth and are released as pollution into groundwater and air.
Those chemicals don't sound too healthy to be in the environment, never mind your vagina.
An alternative to products like pads and tampons is menstrual cups. Unlike disposable products, one cup can last you for up to 10 years, saving the environment and your bank balance. The average woman spends £130 on her period annually, whereas a one-off payment of £15 to £30 can last you up to 10 years.
Cups are made of silicone, which is a green substance that will slowly break back down into sand, which isn't hazardous to the environment. Trying something different than what we are used to is daunting, so I thought I would do it all for you. I recently made the switch from disposable products to a menstrual cup, and this is how it went. So, day 1 of my period, I went to the shops yesterday and I got a menstrual cup. It took me till I got to the 3rd shop till I actually found one, and it was the very bottom shelf. There was only one option. I felt like I had to dust it off before I actually picked it up. But yeah, I found one, cost me £20, which hurt a lot. But if I use it, that'll save me a lot of money in the long run. So I took it home. First impressions were the packaging was really cute. Opened it up and there's a wee bag that they give you to store it in when you're not using it. It looks a bit like a funnel. Reminds me of the ones that I used to decant my booze in when I went to tea in the park. That's exactly what it looks like. It is a bit daunting to try something that you've never ever tried before. I felt like I was 12 years old again, putting a tampon in for the first time, but my mum wasn't outside the door saying that everything's going to be okay. So how you insert it is you fold it over, like the rim of the cup, you fold it over and then insert it, and then hopefully it just magically pops open, but that is not how it works with me anyway. So if it doesn't pop open, it says on the packaging, just give it a simple twist, which is definitely, I don't believe that works for anybody. You need to give it a good howkin. You need to get right up and about it for it to actually work. Hopefully this gets easier, because today it was a nightmare. But I suppose it's just something that you have to get used to. I mean, I had to get used to tampons when I was younger. But yeah, so I have an IUD, which is a copper coil, which makes your periods really heavy. So if this does work for me, it would be amazing, because 3 tampons equals 1 cup. So that would mean I'm not changing my tampon every 30 seconds and I can run about like they do in the tampon adverts. When it's in, I feel it's absolutely comfortable. There's no problems at all there. It's just actually inserting it and taking it out is what I need to get used to, I suppose. So it's day 2 of my period, and one thing I forgot to mention yesterday was that when I went to the shops, there's 2 different sizes of cups that you can buy, which I thought that this was like something like your bib size that you were supposed to know, like you can go get it measured at Marks and Spencer's when you're getting your bra done. But that's not the case. So cup A is for people that haven't given birth, and cup B is for people that have gave birth. I learned that from a quick Google search. Yeah, so day 2 of my period. This is my heaviest day because of my IUD. So I would normally have a pad and a tampon on me at the moment. That's how bad it is. Sleeping with it last night was very comfortable. I didn't have any issues with that. So yeah, I'll see how the rest of today's goes, and I'll get back to you tomorrow. So day 3 of my period. Yesterday I found out that I wasn't made redundant from my work because we were all facing redundancies. So I maybe celebrated a wee bit too much, and yeah, things maybe got a wee bit too messy. And let's say I woke up this morning lying on a Japanese flag. But maybe that is just I need to wear a pad when I go to sleep on my heaviest day as well, which again we're just waste still. So yeah, not the best experience today, but I'm sure not everybody has the best experiences with pads and tampons either. So I've also got the knack of inserting it and taking it out, so that's not a worry for me anymore. So yeah, it's been partially successful today. I think not falling about drunk would have made it better, but yeah, I'll speak to you tomorrow if I get through this hangover. So it is day 4 of my period. I'm on that stage where your period actually looks like girls will know what I mean. One thing I've noticed with this cup is that normally when I'm at the end of my period, it also smells like but I don't know, with the cup, it's just that it's not smelly at all, I think just because it's organic materials. One good thing about a menstrual cup as well, which I forgot to say every other day, is that I can wear nice pants. I don't have to wear my big granny pants every day because, yeah, I'm not using pads. So that's a nice bonus to a cup as well. So yeah, not much more to report on, except from I feel alive again. But yeah, so everything's good, and I'm definitely going to wear my cup for the rest of my period life, which is for the next 30 years. So I have definitely changed my mind on menstrual cups. It's something that I'd never ever thought about before. I knew it was a thing, but I'd never really, I don't know, I've never seen adverts for it. I've never been told from word of mouth from someone that uses. I've never known anybody to use them. So I'm definitely going to be a true advocate for menstrual cups from now on. And I get that it's not for everybody, because not everybody can be that intimate with themselves. But yeah, I definitely recommend menstrual cup to anybody who ever asks me.
For our last segment today, we were kindly joined with 2 lovely guests, Celine Gretsch and Aminata Babu. We had a great discussion about all of our different experiences and talked all things feminine health related. Here's how it went. Hi girls, thanks for joining us. To start off, I just wanted to ask what sanitary products you use. Everybody uses something different, so it'll be interesting to see the differences.
Personally, I use pads. So it's just really what I've always used, and I've always kind of stuck to that. And I just like them. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. I use a pad as well. What about you, Aminata? What do you use?
I use tampons. I just find them like a bit more convenient than pads personally, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm the same. I find that like tampons are a lot easier to use and like carrying them around and stuff as well.
Rachel, what do you use?
So I've got an IED, so that makes my period really heavy. So I used to use pads and tampons on my first day, but now I use a menstrual cup, which is decent.
So we touched on this earlier in the programme. Rachel went through a trial for a week of using an eco-friendly menstrual cup. Do you think that you would ever consider using a menstrual cup, or do you think you would consider eco-friendlier products?
Well, I've got the implant right now, so I don't actually get my period, but I used to use tampons. I think if I ever were to start getting my period again, I might give stuff like that a try. Because I know you can get pads that you just pop in the wash and stuff, and then you can like reuse them.
Yeah, I have heard of them actually, but I don't know if I would be okay using them. I feel like that's a bit, I don't know.
I think like the one thing that freaks me out is that you have to carry it around afterwards. That's like a little bit,
If you're
yeah.
like a few hours away and you just have to put it in your handbag. Oh, I don't think I could. Okay, so do you think that feminine health should be talked about more? Is there anything that when you were younger that you wish that somebody had told you about going through puberty and learning about periods, or do you feel that it was kind of talked to you enough?
I think I was educated from a young age, to be honest. I think maybe people should be aware that it happens earlier to some people, because for me it was quite unexpected. Yeah, I mean, I got spoken to by my mom, by my school. Yeah, I think the only thing that should be a bit more out there is just having it, possibly free or low cost. And I know Scotland's working on it, but it needs to be a bigger thing worldwide.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I really agree with that. Like, I think in school we were definitely like, they definitely covered like most of stuff to do with periods, but I just think like one thing is kind of like symptoms. Like, I feel like I get quite nauseous when I get my period, and I feel like that wasn't really talked about. It makes me feel like quite sick and stuff. But
Yeah, I feel that as well. Like, I feel there's so many symptoms that nobody tells you about. Like, even you can feel dizzy or have sore boobs, or even some people get sore thighs. So I feel like They don't
Yeah.
actually tell you that there's so many things that you can feel. Because I just thought it was that you maybe got a sore stomach and that was it.
Yeah, just like cramps and that's
Oh,
all.
oh my god, I wouldn't wish them on anybody except from boys. I hate.
Do you get really bad cramps?
So with my IUD, I never got cramps before. And know that way it's bad for a girl to think this, but know when someone says that they've got period cramps, you think they're kind of like maybe not milking it. I don't know. It's such a bad attitude to have. But now karma's definitely got me, and I get period cramps every month. And oh my god, it reduces me to tears sometimes. Like sometimes I was in bed. It's got a bit better now, but in the first months when I had my IUD put in, I was crying in bed, couldn't move the whole day. So yeah, period cramps are the worst.
Yeah, they can be quite brutal sometimes.
Do you take anything to help it, like a hot water bottle, or do you find any particular painkiller helps the best?
Ibuprofen for me, and paracetamol if it's really, really bad. Take a wee doubler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mostly stick with them and that, but I think it's just another form of ibuprofen, to be honest.
I think if they're targeted towards periods specifically, they're really expensive, where they're just
Yeah.
ibuprofen.
Yeah, Eminax, I'm sure, is like a £5.
Yeah, whereas they're probably just ibuprofen that you could buy for like 49p or something.
Yeah, my sister usually gets quite bad cramps and she went to the doctors about it and they like prescribe their stuff, which I'm pretty sure is just like Feminax. So it's like pretty much just getting it for free rather than having to like pay more than like paracetamol.
Yeah, because a fiver for pills is a bit much.
Especially if it's every month.
Yeah, because I go through a pack probably for my period.
Just because Rachel, or I think it was Shannon as well, had talked about sort of like IUDs and birth control, is anybody on any contraceptives, or do you have any specific side effects to those contraceptives?
I just avoid guys. I don't really trust people. Like it takes a lot for me to trust someone properly. I feel like if I ever like wanted to have sex with someone, I'd have to trust them for a long time. And I've never met anyone that that just held my trust for that long. And it's also something religious or anything. It's just it's just that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody has their own opinions and it's your own personal preference, I suppose. So everybody's different.
Yeah, I wouldn't like shame or anything saying that just to confirm, just because that's what I do. I wouldn't be like, oh, you have to do that too.
Yeah, of course.
I have the implant and it's honestly the best decision I've ever made. Even, I mean, obviously it works as birth control, but I haven't had my period since I got it put in, which is honestly, it's amazing. So even not thinking about sex, if anyone has like bad periods, I would say try the implant and see if it kind of gets rid of it. Because I know for some people it's like different, like some girls still get their period even with the implant, but for me it just, I haven't had one since.
That's really good, actually. Was there any other side effects negatively, or was it all just good things that you found?
I sometimes do feel like I get like a little bit of cramps. Like I can kind of tell when it's like that time of the month. But like I do get some cramps and stuff, but I don't actually get like the proper like period. So yeah, there's not really been any other side effects.
That's really good. Rachel, do you feel the same?
Well, the IUD, it's a bit of an invasive, like the most invasive contraception I think that you can get because you actually have to get it inserted in you. When I got mine in, it's quite a funny story actually. So I got mine in, and then the woman that was doing it while she was down at my business was like, right, I'm just going to get someone in from the reception to help me. And walks this girl that I went to school with and I've not seen since she left in 4th year. She was like, do you want me to hold your hand? And I was like, please. And I nearly started crying. Yeah, so except from getting it in, because once it's in and you don't have to deal with it. But I do get really bad period cramps. It's a bit better now. I've had it in for about 3 years now. So I'm used to the period cramps now, but it's sore sometimes.
I think if I had to use some form of contraceptive, just condoms, because I don't like needles. I don't like medical things because medical things always go wrong for me. And yeah, that's why I kind of have to trust someone because honestly, it's just something. It's such a stress, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they do say that anyway. I mean, obviously, if you're in a long-term relationship, then it's fine if the girl's happy to go on to other contraception methods. But I mean, generally, as just a practice from day to day, I feel like it should just be something that everybody's on board with anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
I hate how secretive you have to be about everything as well. If
Yeah.
you're in the workplace or if you're at college and you have to go and change your pad, you literally shove it into your pocket or up your sleeve because you're like, oh no, nobody can see my pad. It's like, well, we know that you get periods. Like, I don't see why it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
I think as well, like one thing with that is that I've always found it so strange that boys aren't taught about it in school. Like, I think that's as well where all like the stigma comes from, is that like from such a young age, boys are like taken out of the room while girls learn about it, and it seems like such like a secretive thing.
Yes.
Where I just feel like we should all be like kept in the room for the conversation. Like, it just makes sense. Like, boys have sisters that are going to go through it, or cousins and stuff, friends even. So it just, I don't know.
I think it's really weird as well because I was in Malta when I was taught about that, and the exact same thing happened. Like they split the boys and the girls. It's so weird how it's international.
Why?
I don't know.
It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, I mean, you know, they're probably going to see like tampons in their bathroom or something, and like it just makes sense that the natural part of, you know, and as well like having a partner as well. And when it does come to like when boys are going to start having sex, you know, it's something that they're, or like be in a relationship, like it's something they're going to have to deal with, like with their partner. So
Boys are very uneducated about periods, I think.
they really are. I think it's definitely made out to be like a disgusting thing in society. Like everyone makes it seem like it's like gross and like should be on talked about, but it's honestly not even that big a deal.
Like every woman gets one. And they're
Yeah.
like,
I think it's really funny as well how like guys are like, oh, I'm so manly, and then like they talk about like girls talk about this and they're like, oh no.
Yeah, like, oh no, I can't hear this. No, sorry, no, don't wanna. It's like, well, I mean, it's not a big deal.
Exactly. Even like sex education, then they brought the classes back together, I remember. And I was the only person, like me and this other guy, we were the only people who actually just sat next to each other for this, because every other like person was separated from like they sat with girls and they sat with guys. It's like, well, it's just educational. Like nothing's gonna happen, you know?
One thing I did want to briefly cover, just because we were talking about prices there, is shaving methods. Like shavers, pink shavers are so much more expensive than men's shavers.
Oh, honestly, it's ridiculous.
really?
Like, the price difference. And men's ones are so much better.
men's ones
They're
are better.
so much better. Like you get like the 4 blades and like they're just meant to last, whereas like women's ones are like really bad quality.
Well, I didn't know that.
I recently got it's like, you know how you get these like Instagram ads and like all these social media influencers always post about them, but there's this brand, it's called Estrid, and they do like steel shavers, and oh, it's so good.
Really?
Yeah.
I started using friction-free shaving. So it's like FFS, and they do like they send you like 4 new blades like every 2 months.
Oh.
It's £9 for every like 4 blades that you get, and then you can send the ones that you've finished using back to them.
All right. And then what do they do?
I
Recycle
think they
them?
like recycle them like properly rather than like the plastic, because you get like your reusable metal handle. So it's like
Yeah.
rather than like the
Basically
plastic.
the same as Estrid, so they must be quite similar. But yeah, I think that's really good because then it's stay. Like I used to always go out to the shop and buy just like the Venus disposable ones, and they were sometimes £7-8 a packet. So at least now, if I've just got one, I'll just need to rebuy the heads for them.
That's something I've never thought of before, actually.
You should definitely look into it because it's a lot cheaper.
It's mad how much products and how much profit companies make off of periods and like vaginas in general.
They call it pink tax. So like if anything's pink tailored to women, it automatically goes up in price.
Wow, I've never heard of that before. Oh, yeah. I should have been a woman.
I think like for bikini line, I think I might prefer wax, or actually epilators. They're really good because yes, it hurts a little bit more, but like it stays for so long, with like shaving and trimming or something like that. It's like for a few days, but like if you use an epilator or wax, it's just like, yeah, it hurts, but kind of worth the pain.
Yeah, I do agree. If I could handle the pain, I would do it more often, but I'm a
Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us.
Nice. Thanks, Rebecca. That brings us to the end of today's programme. Thank you so much to all the amazing guests who took part.
We hope by us opening up about our own feminine health, it encourages you to do the same.
Until next time, thank you for listening to
Go with the flow.